Okay, starting the recording. Welcome to Pentester Night School. And we've got the Pentester Lab Network, so let's see. So this is going to be day 5. So for day 5, you guys can see that I've been uploading it to the YouTube channel. This is where it's going to be when I'm done with this. I'm going to upload it here. And I think we've been making a nice little progression through hacking the network, and it looks like it's been a lot of fun. I've been here talking with a bunch of the students. I just now turned on the recording, and so far the base feedback from the students seems to be that the lab's been pretty good. It's been a good time. Definitely students are liking the live classes. So, as we talked about how we want to keep 2016 going, we want to stay with the monthly access to the labs. Each week, me doing like a little lesson in the labs, and the students kind of hacking their way through the labs. I'm going to keep doing the classes like the burp suite and the metasploit and the big data and the exploit dev and all those different classes like that. I'm definitely going to keep doing those. If you look on the playlist, they're being up here. Like last week I uploaded malware analysis. Or no, last week I uploaded burp suite. Yeah, see, 6 days ago, burp suite. Malware analysis the week before that, Metasploit the week before that. So tonight I'm going to upload a whole nother class. I don't know what it'll be. It'll probably be PowerShell or something like that. And we'll keep doing that. So pretty much every week I'll upload a class. And then once all the major classes are done, then we'll kind of transition to each week me uploading like a couple of lessons, and we'll start adding to each of the respective playlists. So, maybe one week I'll add to, Metasploit. Maybe one week I'll add to PowerShell, So we'll get all the major courses up, and then slowly I'll start adding content every week. So there'll be more stuff there. And then as far as the big classes, we'll keep doing those. We'll probably keep them to like they are, kind of like, 1 or 2 nights a week. And then, the Saturday classes like we've been doing. And the real thing that I'm kind of looking for is how I can expand the lab. A few nights ago, I sent out a description doc of the corporate lab package. So I'm building the corporate lab package for one customer right now, and I've got 2 customers who inquired about the corporate lab package. Most of you guys looked at that. So here's the corporate lab package, and the thought process behind the corporate lab package was to try to make a package deal that corporations could use for their own lab environment. So you'll see how it's got this lab environment offering. It's got the respective goals that takes you through your different skill levels: apprentice, journeyman, master technician. And you'll see how I'll walk through it really fast. So you see how it's like, here's your corporate lab environment. How's the lab environment accessed? It's accessed through VPN, just like what you're doing right now. What kinds of things are going to be in the lab environment? So if you look at the kinds of things that are going to be in the lab environment, on the defensive side, they're going to be open source security products, such as Security Onion, OSSIM, stuff like that. Now, if you're a corporate customer, right, which is who this package is designed for, you can put in things like ArcSight, Splunk, whatever the corporate package that you want, corporate security product that you want is you just have to let me know, and as long as it has an Amazon AMI, because it's actually in Amazon, I can build it and buy it. I mean, I can build it and deploy it. The customer just needs to buy the proper licensing for it, right? And then we will create custom offensive and defensive tasks as part of the training. So if you guys take a look at it, right, it's got the foundation courses. So here's your operating system courses. So it'll have a Linux for IT security, 5 days, right? Attacking, defending Linux, shell scripting, log analysis, configuration management, right? Development and correlating IOCs, indicators of compromise for Linux. Windows for IT security systems, attacking and defending Windows systems, PowerShell, log analysis, configuration management on a large scale, developing and correlating IOCs for Windows based on threat intel. And then networking for IT security professionals. So it's like routing, switching fundamentals, traffic analysis with Wireshark and TCP dump, network intrusion analysis with Security Onion. So it's an example of the free tools for that, right? Wireshark, TCP dump, and Security Onion. That's examples of free tools. So do you see the foundation level program is Linux for IT security, Windows for IT security, networking for IT security. Then your corporate stuff, your enterprise stuff, intermediate, is going to be incident response. So it's malware analysis, reverse engineering, offensive cyber, identifying vulnerabilities, exploiting vulnerabilities, modifying public exploit code, and then Python for security, log analysis, packet capture and analysis, malware analysis with Python, exploit development with Python, right? So you see your journeyman program. And then your advanced program would be like attacking, defending web, cloud, and mobile applications, right? Attacking, analyzing mobile malware, reverse engineering mobile apps, exploit development, stack overflows, CH overrides, heap sprays, bypassing def, bypassing SLR, reverse engineering. So that's your master level training program. So here's the course goals, and you can see the breakdown of what the base skill sets a person should have to be considered at that skill level. So like apprentice should have like your A+, Net+, some programming logic, probably a security plus, CCNA type background, CEH Pen for hacking, pen testing type skill set. Here would be like your journeyman, right? Your MCITP, right? Your Active Directory, your Red Hat, strong understanding of Linux. Something like an OSCP, like you're pretty comfortable with network penetration testing. Probably be really comfortable like an interpreted language, compiled language, right? And you see how like on your master level, how you've got like assembly, shell coding, Windows internals, Nix internals. You definitely should be jumping into that. And then we have like a breakdown of the course prerequisites. Right. So this is stuff that a student should be looking at before he jumps into these courses. What I got started being asked about was, what do you get? Can corporate students get your CPEs? And then can they do some sort of proficiency validation? And it's basically like a lab challenge to verify that you really are that skill set. Then the next thing I got asked about was, what if the customer wants industry standard certifications, right? Because I'm not a certification developer. I'm not trying to develop my own certification. So would some customers prefer to have their employees working toward industry standard certifications as part of this lab environment? So what I'm willing to do is map the courseware to industry standard certifications, and then the company can buy the vouchers to take the exams for those industry standard certs. And I gave like an example of some of those. And then I've got the payment structure. So level 1, $30,000 a year. So that's up to 5 employees, right? And for that 5 employees, that's 24/7 access. All of the courses included in it for those 5 employees. And then an additional employee at $2,000 per year. $50,000 3-tier package up to 10 employees, additional employees at $2,000 a year. $75,000 is where I have custom stuff. So the reason that this one's more expensive is because I have to write your courseware for whatever your custom product is. So like if your product is Alien Vault or Splunk or Nitro or whatever your corporate ArcSight or whatever your corporate security product is, I got to turn around and write hacking courses and hacking labs for it. So that's why it's a little bit more expensive to buy that than the rest is just like my bio and my contact number. But so that's the corporate package, and it seems like people are okay with it. It seems like people are okay with it. Yeah, thanks, Laura. There's a ton of typos. I need to clean it up. So I'm definitely going to keep working with that. Now the thing that I got asked about was, do you think you'd have some sort of package like this for the individual person? So for the individual person, what I think I want to do is keep doing what I'm doing right now. Let's see. Okay, are you guys back? Okay, sorry, I lost my internet for a while. Okay, sorry about that. Lost my internet for a while. Okay, so what I got asked about was, would you be doing something like this for individuals, not a corporate package? And the answer is yeah. What I think I want to do is, I think I want to transition to maybe like 1 class per month, and I think I want to keep doing this lab environment stuff like I'm doing now, where I'll do a regular class like a network, web app, Python, something like that each month, exploit dev or whatever the subject is, malware analysis or something each month. And then while I'm doing the Pentester Lab Network classes like I'm doing with you guys on Tuesday nights, show something new in the lab. And I think I kind of want to keep doing that way. What I wanted to get your opinion on is, are you okay with that? Um, so are you okay with that? Keeping the pricing at that 50 to 100, 150, $200 on the really expensive courses, but really trying to keep it at the $50 to $100 a class kind of price range. And So those will be for, the focus classes each month. And then we'll keep this monthly lab access where I just kind of show new tricks in the lab each week. Are you okay if we kind of stay that direction? I appreciate that, John. Okay, so that's kind of the thought of where I want to stay for the rest of the year, at least as a good little experiment. It'll cut down the number of classes that I'm teaching each month, but I'll keep producing material, um, and I'll keep adding stuff to the classes, and I'm kind of following the feedback that we got last year, which was to stop making such huge classes. Because if you guys remember last year, I used to do like a class that would last the whole month, or I would do like 2 and sometimes 3 nights a week for like 2 and 3 months, and those were just way too big with way too much homework. These are like a lot shorter, um, way more focused with newer material. So that's what I'm going to try to stick with and just keep them reasonably priced. But as long as customers are okay with this kind of monthly lab network kind of setup, what I think would be kind of nice for those students is um, you keep the network where some of the old machines stay there, and then I keep swapping out some machines. The only thing that I think gets kind of difficult is if you leave up the videos, like in this case, you say you have the history of videos. So let's say a student joins in June. Well, he's missed from the previous months, but he can always go back and look at this. You remember how I said the lab is going to change every week? Eventually, you'll get to a point where some of that stuff that you learn, those hosts are no longer in the lab network. So that's kind of what I was kind of wondering about. I wondered what you guys thought of that. Do you think I should keep like a certain amount of vulnerabilities to stay in the network persistent? Or do you want completely new target environments monthly, that type of stuff? Okay, so you definitely want at least a few of the machines to stay the same week to week, month to month, and then a few of the machines to swap out week to week, month to month. That way the student can kind of follow some of these older videos and he can be like, oh, well, if I join after the class has already begun, I should be able to cruise through some of the old videos and still do some of those things. Is that what you guys are thinking? Okay. All right. Okay, so Steve, to address the thing that you were talking about, what I think I want to do, yeah, there you go. See, you hit it already. You hit it already. Um, Beginner and intermediate hacking skill stuff, I think I want to keep that stuff persistent in the environment all the time. And then the more advanced stuff can change a lot more often. And you hit dead on exactly what I was thinking, right? So if I show a basic skill, like let's say port scanning, some sort of vulnerability scanning, identifying a vulnerability inside of the target network, and it should stay persistent. If there's like a particular really sophisticated trick, maybe that one rotates out weekly or monthly kind of thing. Okay. All right, so I like that idea, and if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to keep with it. All right, so let's roll. Okay, so I should already be connected to the VPN. Make a quick check. Yep, looks like I'm connected. Okay, so we've already covered a lot of this stuff already. So you're going to see me do a quick scan for FTP. Let's see what's out there. Okay, definitely some VSFTP is out there. Okay. Well, Steve is definitely right. Last week in one of the classes, I had a box that even I had a tough time breaking into. Yeah, so I see where you're coming from. Just like a more clear logical progression, something so that you know you're at an intermediate skill level. And that's why I kind of think the courseware and the testing in and out of it is kind of the way to go for the corporate environment. How I'm going to do that for individuals, I'm not sure. But I think with each week, the more I build in the lab and play in the lab, I'm getting more comfortable with what vulnerabilities I can feed to you and what network situations I can feed to you. And then I think as long as you just keep giving me time in it, I'll definitely come up with a pretty valid way to make sure that you're getting the skill set you want. Okay, so we ripped through the FTP stuff. Looks good. Let's go for the NFS mount stuff. Okay, NFS mount stuff is running. There we go. Okay. Now, I know you're going to hate me, Steve. I'm not covering attacking Linux today. But if I were covering attacking Linux, what I just ran right now, would definitely be the step that I would start with. Okay, how do I figure out if the host in the environment are running some flavor of Nix, right? And that's usually SunRPC port 111. So for me, the fastest way to find Unix or Linux hosts in the environment is to scan for SSH or 111, right? Now, NFS mounts are kind of the Linux versions of Windows shared folders. You know how like on a Windows machine, you can share a folder and say, okay, I want to make this folder available to people. And NFS mount is an example of how you would do that in Linux. Yeah. Now I'm not covering it today, but next week's class I will be. Okay. Now, if you're attacking Windows machines, what you want to go after is you want to go after Microsoft Directory Services, port 445. Can you get root from the NFS mount? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it's a lot of work. What you typically can find is exported directories. So if you have an exported directory, you may have information in a shared folder, right? We call that an NFS mount. And that shared folder may have really loose permissions on it that can allow you access to stuff you probably shouldn't have access to. Now, what do most people do? You data mine all those NFS mounts, those shared folders basically. And what you try to do is you try to see if any of those things contain critical data, specifically like password files. And then, yeah, you might be able to get something that from a particular NFS mount gives you access somewhere else. So short answer, yeah, that tends to be how you go from an NFS mount. You find credentials or you find a really critical piece of information. Now, are there really extreme misconfigurations where you might have something called R services? And the answer is yeah. So with R services, you can have something like RCP, remote copy, and RSH, remote shell. So you may be in a situation where you can connect to a machine, and because they have misconfigured R services, you can connect to a machine remotely without a password if you can impersonate the correct user or be coming from source IP address of an authenticated or an allowed host. So again, I'm not going to go too far down the road of attacking Linux machines, but SonRPC port 111 will be the first thing you look for. SSH would be the next thing that you look for. And then web stuff will be the next thing you look for after that. Like if I needed to like map down like my process in the LAN for attacking Linux machines, that would be how I do it. And exactly, John, .rhost, exactly. So the first thing I would go after is SunRPC because that would be how I data mine. Second thing I would go after would be SSH because you may be able to brute force SSH. And then the third thing I would go after would be the web servers. You know, maybe somebody has like a vulnerable version of Apache or a vulnerable version of Tomcat, something like that installed. Okay, if I'm attacking Windows, the very first thing that I would go after is the SunRPC port 111. Microsoft Directory Services port 445. Woo! My head is at. Okay, so here's an example, right? This is the SunRPC port 445. So you can see the hosts that are running port 445, and you're going to see that it's going to try to check what's configured in the environment. Okay, so right now I have not configured oh, okay. All right, so suggestion for each class. Try and include at least one example of getting root on a box. Whether simple or complex, customers really want to pay for this. A pen test where no getting root seems like wasted money to many customers. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. So what we got going on here is you're trying to see can you get some sort of information off of port 445? So on Windows hosts, Microsoft Directory Services 135, 139, and 445 are going to be the ports that tend to have the most information, right? They tend to have the most information. And that's going to really be what you're looking for, right? So when we have full-blown Active Directory in the environment, which we don't right now, that's when I think you'll get a lot more out of this kind of information, right? Because that's when you'll see users that have, um, misconfigured stuff, weak permissions on stuff, data that's leaked somewhere, where I think you'll get some pretty good stuff, right? Okay, so here I'm ripping the network looking for port 80 and port 8080. Okay, so I found some machines that are running port 80. I'm going to go after 15. Let's see what we can get on this bad boy. Okay. Sohbat HTTPD 3.1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to exploit DB. Different class, Steve. Yeah, you're mixing two classes together and thinking it's one class. Okay, so let's say I search for Savant. Okay, and there seems to be a couple of cases where the Savant 3.1 is out there. Do you guys see that? Savant 3.1, Savant 3.1, Savant 3.1, Savant 3.1. Looks pretty good. So I looked for that, and it looks like we found one exploit that was actually written in Python. So it's 18401. Let's see. This one. Okay. So how do I do that? I'm going to grab all this down, copy it. Okay. All right, so now that I'm in VI, I'm going to press I for insert mode. When I right-click, it allows me to paste. So shift : set number. So I got line numbers now. And now let's go through this code and let's see if it does what we think it does. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to check my target port. So when I did this, port 80 was running Savant 3.1. Okay. So let's change the IP address, 0.15, port 80. So he does buffer2 rock X, does a bind shell. It's encoded multiple times with shikata ganai, and then it's stuck inside of here. So that's it. Let's take a look. Here's bad buffer. Rock X is his egg hunter. Okay. So now let's did somebody else launch an exploit against it already? There we go. All right. Woohoo! Party, 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 party. Ah, you're on 16 right now? You're having a little bit too much fun with this, Steve. Oh, you used Metasploit. Okay. 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 So I'm going to pop out of that. Slower too. I'm going lightning speed. Okay. Now, maybe we're in a situation where we might want to try maybe we're in a situation where we might want to try um, changing out the payload. So what are some other options? We can let's see. Okay. Okay, now let's see if we can check the bad characters that he has. Okay, he doesn't have any bad characters turned off in his. Let's see if we can find a previous version of the exploit. Maybe somebody else has some bad character stuff listed. Okay. So there's something expressly that I'm looking for, and that's what are called bad characters. So although it's not an exploit development class, okay. Looks like it's okay on bad characters. Mm, 13 maps. Alright. Doesn't really seem to be too picky for bad characters, so let's try this. Payload. Alright, now attempting to encode it. Oh, why'd you go kablooey? Oh, let's look for MSF Venom. Find shell. It really shouldn't have worked out that bad. Shell slash bind underscore TCP. x86 window shell bind. And okay, let's give that a shot. x86 platform key shell bind TCP. Okay, and the only bad character is just taken out as null. 3 iterations. Write it out for Python. Let's see how that looks. That looks better. Let's copy that. Let's do that. Okay, and it's just straight shellcode and then tuple. Okay, so grab this. Paste the joker like that. See how that looks down at the bottom of this tuple. Looks like it's just got a straight parent. And it's called buffer2, right? The heck? What happened? Buffer2 plus equal parent. Go all the way down to the bottom of this. Close it, right? Let's check it. Yep. So let's copy Sohbat.py to new Sohbat. Let's go new shellcode Sohbat.py. Spread that. There we go. Okay, and okay, 15. Let me check 14. Okay, looks like it's back up and running. So it's vi. Oops. 1480. Okay. Oh man, didn't run. Did somebody launch an exploit against it already? Oh, you did. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's try. Oh, shoot. Steve's on 16. Ah, man, I suck. Oh, it should have worked. Probably crashed the service already, too. Ah, this really sucks. Hmm. For that egg hunter to work like that, that really should have did it. Okay, so let's jump on that box. What was that? 17 I just did? No, I can't type that in there anyway. It's way too complicated. Okay, $sign. Oh, I can't believe how stupid I am. You gotta be freaking kidding me. That was stupid. That was stupid. Ah, looks like some of you guys are already doing SQL injection against this box. Oh, wow. Look at that into the logs. Oh, no, that's not. Somebody ran a scanner against it. tick or 1% A. Oh, wow, look at there. Prod page, config.xml. Oh, somebody ran a vulnerability scanner against it. Look at all that stuff in the logs. Oh, see? Yeah, somebody had fun with this guy, huh? Ah, okay. Open bass. Okay. 17. And you're running on what? Okay, 17. Let's run the mmap against him again. That's against 17. Okay, both services are off. Okay, so let's run on that. Let's see. There we go. All right, he's back up. He's just flipped. Okay, so what I did was boneheaded. So if you guys look at what I did, why was it boneheaded? Because I built this MSF payload this way the first time. Then the second time I built it, I thought I was still using this. And when you don't specify a port, the default port is 4444. So the second time I ran it, it used port 4444. So that was kind of stupid. So my mistake, that's the reason that the payload didn't work when I tried to swap out the shellcode. So I tried to swap out the shellcode, then attack the wrong port. That was just a stupid thing. But anyways, at least we broke into the machine. That was just dumb. I thought I'd be like, hey, let me swap out this payload, and then I ran it against the wrong port. So not real smart on Joe's part. Okay, definitely looks like we're up and running. All right. All right, then how do we use Metasploit to attack the same thing? I won't go too much deeper into swapping out payloads, so I'll make that for another class. I thought I would do that today, but oh well. So change that to 17, change the target port to 8080. And let's do this. And stager. Dun dun dun. Woo-hoo! Boom! Yeah. Dun 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 dun. So, living the good life, living the dream. I'm on the box. Should tell us that we're on a Zen platform because we are in Amazon AWS, baby, which is built on Zen. Let's have ourselves some fun. Drop it. Give us a nice little hash dump. Yay! Let's see, what's the password? It starts with 4042B. Okay, better grab it. Did you guys see why I had such a tough time? Look at the freaking password, huh? You're like, really? My God. Yay! This box is mine. Now a bunch of logs are being generated, so that's that. What is it? Oh, delete. He's gone! Alright, so created a local user account, added myself to the local group. That was fun. And what you can do is I can grab that password right there. I'll throw that joker right here. 17. Now, what I can do is I can background it, right? And now you can PS exec and just see if you can connect to the machine. Let's see if it works. Looking good in the hood. All right, well, that was a lot of fun. Able to pop on the box. Able to PS exec to the box. So what I'll probably do, most of you guys are doing okay with this. I'm kind of tied, torn between a couple of things. So what do you think would be more interesting to cover? Attacking Active Directory or more focus on pivoting? Why does everybody want to do attacking Active Directory, right? The pivoting labs would be so much easier for me to build. I probably shouldn't have even asked you. Okay, I'll do attacking AD. Okay, so I'm going to start tearing this stuff down, and well, not tearing it down. Literally, I'm just going to start joining the machines to a domain. So I'm going to build AD over the next few days, and then I'll be joining the current machines that we have to Active Directory, figuring that if I go about it that way, you guys can still have the old exploits that stay in the lab, but when you run like your Mimikatz and your Incognito and stuff like that in Metasploit, you'll have some tokens that you can steal. So that would be something that would be kind of interesting to kind of play around with. Okay. All right, guys. So we're finishing up. It's about 9 o'clock. My daughter's gonna start doing the VPN stuff for the users, so gotta wait for her call right now, and I'll be walking her through VPN accounts for users, and she's gonna do that. And is the lab the same as last month? No, we're coming up on the end of the month right now, so that's the reason I'm gonna take the next few days and start building new labs in it. Yeah. So the whole reason that I'm kind of asking you guys is because the time that I would normally use to kind of like write new courses, I'm kind of spending time playing like sysadmin in the environment all the time, right? So if I'm gonna do the lab, I can't teach as many classes. So that's the reason why at the beginning of the class I was kind of like, okay, guys, you got to let me know if I'm gonna do the lab stuff. The amount of time that I normally kind of like be writing courseware for just 2 or 3 virtual machines, you have to like build it in the lab and build it with like batch files and cron and clean up stuff so that it can stay persistent. Like a lot of what makes the lab so hard to do. Oh, someone's shutting it down. Oh my gosh. System shut down. Will begin in 59 seconds. Oh, that's cool. Well, didn't expect that. So someone else ran another exploit and then they're blowing up the machine. Okay. So this is exactly what I was getting at. So what ends up happening is you end up, like you guys see down here, the savant.bat. So what happens is it's a batch file that cleans up all the services, because like when you launch a buffer overflow, you like trash the service. So it like cleans up the services, cleans up temporary files from the exploit, and then after you do all that cleaning it up, it restarts all the services and kills all the malicious processes so that other students can attack the same host, and then schedule it to run basically like every 30 minutes. So if you're attacking a server and it fails, if it's 10 o'clock, well, then you have to wait 30 minutes for the box to come back. But if you're attacking a service, you look down and it's 10:15, it's only 15 more minutes before it's going to clean itself up anyway. I hope they rebooted that box and didn't do a permanent shutdown. That wouldn't be nice. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. So yeah, I'm going to try to move away from teaching so many classes and move more toward 1 or 2 classes a month, and then pretty much just put in new toys in the lab every week or every couple of weeks. Is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. No problem, guys. I appreciate the review of Savant. So yeah, we're finally done with Savant, Steve. All right, guys, let's wrap it up for the day. My weekends for the month of April just got taken up by another customer, so I'm going to have to figure out schedule-wise what I'm going to do for you guys. I haven't even decided what to teach for April. Does anybody have any ideas? Well, we already got attacking AD. That's going to be in Pentester Night School. We already did a Burp Suite class. You want to do a more advanced Burp Suite class? I mean like a class. Okay. Well, we got a couple people voting for Burp Suite. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Man, burp, 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 and more burp, huh? Okay. All right, guys. You guys take care. I'm going to get working on the VPN and stuff like that. You guys take care.